That's right, our favorite time of year. That's right. Christmas time is here, and you were back to another episode of Arizona Real Estate Showcase, the Lockbox, presented by Arizona's number one brother and sister real estate team, the GRANDON GROUP, powered by my home group. Over 4,500 agents strong. Hey, I got to tell you, everybody, first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I love this time of year. It is, especially in Arizona. I'm down here in Maricopa County, so Scottsdale, Cave Creek area. My sister's up north in Flagstaff, Prescott, Sedona area. And I've got to tell you, it's actually been nice in both areas, but two different feelings, and it is just fantastic wherever you are going. So, our Christmas episode is here. It's funny because I actually just recorded this episode, and I went through it, and I forgot to hit record. So now I'm back to having to record this again. So yes, it's recording for sure. Hey, first of all, thank you, and thank you for making the GRANDON Group Arizona's number one brother and sister real estate team. Also, thank you for making this a top listened to real estate podcast here in Arizona. It's definitely humbling when you're out and about and people recognize you from the voice. Hey, they're like, hey, aren't you Jason Grandon? I'm like, maybe. And they're like, yeah, listen to your podcast. So it'll be even more exciting because after the first of the year, we are bringing the podcast, and we are going to also have it on YouTube and Rumble and stuff. So you'll be able to see us. And we'll have guests, and we're going to amp some stuff up and really do some great stuff. Plus, we're going to be live on location in our office in Prescott, so we can start talking about one of the hottest markets in the state, which is Prescott, Arizona. So, anyways, real estate market. It's funny. People come up and they're like, I listened to your show, The Lockbox, and you say it's about real estate, but we never really talk about real estate. And again, that's fine because you're not going to hear us coming on here saying, okay, there's a little 3-bedroom house up the road, and it's got 3 bedrooms and a pool. You're not going to hear that from us. You're going to get real life questions and answers. And when you're done with the program, you're going to know that, hey, this group is a group, if I'm going to do any sort of real estate business, that they're the ones who know what they're doing, and we can trust them. And so that is one of the reasons we've been in business for so long as well. So, GRANDON Group, Arizona's number one brother and sister real estate team, powered by the brokerage, My Home Group. Okay, so Christmas time is here. I know everybody's excited. We are 10 days out. Today is December 15th. The fat man's getting ready to get on a sleigh, and we are getting ready to celebrate the biggest birthday of all, which is Jesus. So, what do you want for Christmas? I know everybody's always like, hey, I want PlayStation, I want an Xbox, I want a new car, I just want some clothes. They go through the deal. So I wanted to kind of touch base on this, and this came from a questionnaire I put back in late October, early November, knowing that we were going to do this podcast. Should people get pets for the holidays? That is kind of the question I want to go with today. Okay, so I guess stepping back here. So my sister and I, Stacey, we were raised on a big Arabian horse ranch. We had a couple hundred head of horses. We had dogs. We had cats that ran around, not inside. And so we grew up where if Stacey and I were out one day, like I remember coming home one day with a pair of llamas, and my folks just look at me like, what the heck are you doing? And so that's the kind of family we had. We were able to bring pets home and, take care of them. So our attitude towards animals is that, hey, if you have an animal, like a dog or cat, and that's kind of what this is going to focus on, is dog and cats. But if you get an animal, it's a lifelong commitment. It's not, oh, it's a puppy today, and then 2 years from now, you're like, oh, it got bigger, I don't want it, and give it away. It's unfair. It is a living being, and they love you more than anything, so why would you do that to them? I get calls a couple times a week. Hey, Jason, I need to rent another home. I've got, decent credit. I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I can't spend more than, $1,500 a month. I'm like, okay, no problem. You have a pet? Oh yeah, I got a pet. I've got a pit bull and a Rottweiler and then some small dog. And first of all, just so you know, for those of you that have breed restricted dogs, now this is not my rule. This is just kind of a rule of thumb. Breed restricted animals are next to impossible to get into rentals, especially if there's a property management company involved. They'll automatically turn them down. Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, Staffordshire Terriers, German Shepherds, Dobermans. Now, in my opinion, I love those dogs. I think they're great. I have a big French Mastiff myself, and I've got a little mini Australian Labrador, super cute. But those big dogs, they're breed restricted because insurance doesn't necessarily cover them. Now, we all know that more people get bit from a small dog, like a little Chihuahua, than they do a big dog. That's a fact. You can look it up. The absolute fact that small dogs are actually, how many times have you ever reached down to pet a little Chihuahua and the thing nips you? Whereas you go to pet a German Shepherd or something, it might just look at you, look intimidating, but it doesn't tear into you. Plus, it's how these pets are raised. But back to the point of getting pets for the holidays. The, pets are lifelong commitments, as they should be. So if you get a kitten or you get a dog, you should do the research on it to make sure you know how long it's going to live, what to expect, what it needs to eat, the exercise. If you live in an apartment, it's probably not the best idea to have, a big dog. If you're 800 square feet and then you have a 200-pound dog, it's probably not the smartest idea. So you should think about buying a house. The market is great to buy a house. And also, many of you don't know this, you can buy a condo or a townhome that actually has a little yard. So you can get a little bigger dog. But so we always kind of figured pets were lifelong commitments. Every year you see somebody get like a pug. Pugs are super cute, especially as puppies. So they get a pug, and then 2 years later, there's hundreds and hundreds of them at the pound because people get fed up with them. It makes no sense to me. It's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. So the other thing is probably not the best idea to buy a pet for somebody. Getting a pet, to me, and to our group, I think is kind of a personal decision. So maybe you're thinking about getting a dog, and you're investigating. You're like, oh, I'm going to get a pound dog, or I'm going to get a, Chihuahua or Pekingese or whatever. There's just 50 million dogs out there. Cavalier, King Charles, or maybe you want a big dog. But that's kind of a personal decision. So if you're out there shopping around and you're like, oh my God, it's last minute. I've got to get my daughter. I've got to get my son. I got to get my friend, my girlfriend, boyfriend. I got to get them something. A pet is probably not the answer, especially if they're not mentally ready to take on that responsibility. I mean, let's face it. You got to take them out to the bathroom a few times a day. You got to feed them a couple times a day. They need bathes. It's taking up a lot of time, especially if you're on a busy schedule. Probably not the best idea. So it was funny because the majority of the survey we sent out had that on there that people did not think it was a good idea to give pets as gifts, and it's probably not a good idea to get a pet during the holidays. This is another thing. You've been working all year, and now you're off for 2 weeks for the holidays, for Christmas and Hanukkah, and you're sitting around, you're like, I've been working my butt off this year. I want to get a dog. But you know what? January 2nd rolls around, and you got to get back to work, and now what? You gonna put that dog in a cage all day, or you gonna let it just roam the house and stuff like that? So, you know what? Just something to think about. Yes, I love animals. They're I think they're the best things in the world. And if I could have 1 million of them, I would. But they are commitments. They're expensive, and they need your love because they have a lot of love to give. So, if you're thinking about getting a pet, reach out to us, and we can help you find the perfect place for a pet. Now, for some of you that have horses or other kind of like cows and bigger livestock, a lot of restrictions. So when you go to buy a house, if you have a horse or you intend on getting a horse, make sure the zoning is there. So, for example, there's a couple places here in Cave Creek that are 5-acre parcels, and you're like, oh, I can have a horse there, no HOA or anything like that. Some of the rules have changed. There are some places in different municipalities that have said, okay, your horse is grandfathered in there, but if it goes longer than 6 months without a horse being on there, it reverts back to a different type of zoning and you can't have a horse. So you want to be careful. You need experience when you're going to go buy a place with a little bit of land if you want to have animals. There's some that have, Scottsdale has restrictions. If you have under 5 acres, you can only have, I believe, 2 horses. So, and that's assuming there's no HOA. So, HOA communities, they might restrict you to certain things as well. So you've got to make sure before purchasing the place that you look into all this, or at least have your realtor help you research it. Somebody that knows agriculture or animals and stuff like that. As far as pets, many condo complexes in their CCNRs have restrictions, no more than a 25-pound pet. So you could buy a place and then go buy yourself a German or a golden retriever or something, which we know is over 25 pounds, and that's going to have some legal fees for you. So if you rent a house and you get a pit bull or a Doberman or a breed restricted animal, again, it's a cause for evictions, and you can get evicted, and then that's on your record, and it's just nonstop. So I know pets are sometimes kind of impulse buy. Just try to control it and make sure that if you do get a pet, you're in the right place for it, you got the right kind of place for it, and kind of figure out what maybe your future has in hold so you can have that pet forever. But anyways, back to the gifts for Christmas. Those are great gifts. I mean, everybody loves to open a box and your kids see a puppy jump out. It's exciting, and they glamorize it in Hollywood, but again, probably not the best idea. So anyways, the other thing I want to do, I want to thank you guys and girls for making the Lockbox Arizona Real Estate Showcase one of the #1 Arizona real estate podcasts out there. It's incredibly humbling. I get these numbers after the downloads come in. And it's funny because when you sit here in front of the microphone, you're like, am I just talking to myself? But really, there's a ton of you out there. And so if you're thinking about moving to Arizona, or you're thinking about moving out of Arizona, make sure you reach out to the Grandon Group. You can go to our website, thegrandongroup.com. You can call me direct. Our number's on the bottom of the page here. Call myself or Stacey. We are handling all of Maricopa County. So basically anything from, Santan Valley all the way up to Flagstaff. So we got Sedona, Camp Verde, Prescott. My sister actually handles that northern division because she lives up there. Incredibly talented when it comes to different kind of zoning stuff, land, and fun stuff like that. So, and listen, if you guys just have questions, call up. I mean, that's what we're here for. Real estate is, we're here to serve you, is what I'm trying to say. And that's the bottom line. And you have helped make us, for over 20 years, one of the top real estate companies. Plus, we're with My Home Group, which is the broker that we keep our license under. And you got over 4,500 agents there. So our networking is incredible, and our marketing is awesome. So hope you guys have an incredible holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah. It's I can't believe how fast it came around. Keep in mind that as we get through the holidays here, and there's so much going on between now and the holidays, if you're looking for fun stuff to do, Princess is great. Head up north to NPX. If you want to see Santa take the kids, it's an absolute blast. Also, you've got Williams Train Ride. Plus, you've got all these little farms that are open with lights and stuff. Scottsdale Dazzle is going on right now. You can just walk around the canal and look at lights. Zoo Lights was actually a lot of fun this year. So, but once we get through this new year, it starts up again. And with interest rates dropping, yes, I said it, interest rates are dropping. If you didn't know that, the past few days, they've went from 8 down to the 6.5, and they're expected to drop 3 to 4 more times during 2024. Now, we all know, because it's election year, we know why they're doing that stuff. But either way, it's about to become a rat race. We are seeing people out there right now getting back into bidding wars and multiple offer situations on homes. So don't sit on that fence too long. Call us. Let us get you with a lender. There's programs out there. Some of you don't even need to come up with any money to buy a place. But there's programs out there. Get qualified. And again, we own instantrenters.com as well. So I want to help out the renters. But listen, if you don't have to rent, do not rent. It is a waste of money. And for those of you that I had a couple emails, well, I'd like to buy, but I'm just going to rent because I'm only in Arizona for 2 or 3 more years. You know what? If you're getting 4 to 10% on your house money, if you buy right, that's a no-brainer. So buy and then sell it in 2 years. You miss the capital gains, and there's some big benefits for you. But again, thank you for making Arizona Real Estate Showcase the Lockbox a great podcast. Thank you for making the Grandon Group Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, powered by My Home Group, one of the top real estate brokerages and agents out here. My sister and I really appreciate it. Hey, we are going live. So we're going to be going, you'll be able to watch us on YouTube while we do this podcast. Starting next year, we're going to have guests. We're going to be also recording up in Prescott. So we're going to really put an emphasis on getting that community together to make sure they get the best, most solid people. So listen, you guys have a great Christmas, great Hanukkah. Thank you so much. We do have one, maybe two more podcasts before the end of the year. But do not get a pet for Christmas unless you're prepared. All right? Have a great one, folks. Thanks again. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah. We'll see you guys soon.